Welcome back to our special presentation, Race for City Hall. Tonight, you're hearing from the candidates for mayor of New York City. No talking heads, just their own words from the candidates themselves. Up next tonight, public advocate Bill de Blasio. Did you know de Blasio was the successful campaign manager for Hillary Clinton when she first ran for the U.S. Senate? We started with de Blasio with an ad that has caused City Council Speaker Christine Quinn a lot of trouble.
Virtually all of Christine Quinn's decisions were made in rooms just like this, with her friends in the 1%.
You say you knew nothing about this ad, but Christine Quinn says you are directly behind it.
I gotta tell you, literally, I resent, I don't use those words lightly, I resent her making an aspersion there's absolutely no evidence for. The folks involved, a number of them were her supporters. This is the part she leaves out of the discussion. They were people who gave her large sums of money and then became profoundly disillusioned with the way she abandoned progressive values. The folks who are behind it, as have been reported, some are supporters of John Liu. I believe some are supporters of Bill Thompson. I think some are supporters of me. They have a right under the law to do this. I, as much as anyone, would like to see continued campaign finance reform, but right now these folks have a legal right to do this, and they are expressing their anger on paid sick days, on living wage, on term limits, all the things where she let down progressive values. And instead of claiming I had something to do with it when I did not, she should answer the substantive issues that have been raised in this advertisement.
Is she qualified to be mayor of New York City, in your opinion?
I think her policies are wrong for New York. I think her approach is wrong for New York. I mean, she's obviously been willing to violate the democratic process, first with the change in term limits, which, as you know, I led the opposition to in the city council. I think she made a deal with Bloomberg. One of the great backroom deals in the history of a city that's had a lot of backroom deals, took away the people's democratic rights. She did it again on paid sick days, holding up a vote for 3 years on something that would have affected 1 million people. That's not leadership to me. Let's
go back in history. Few people may remember you were Hillary Clinton's campaign manager.
Ancient history. What was that? That was 13 whole years ago.
13 years ago.
13 years.
She was first lady at the time.
She was.
And decided she wanted to make history and go to the U.S. Senate. And you ran that entire successful campaign.
Yes.
But now let's fast forward. What are you going to do any differently than the other candidates in this race?
Well, look, I'll link it a bit to the fact that I had the honor of being her campaign manager, and I learned an immense amount in that experience. You'll remember right before that I was the regional director for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development under the Secretary of HUD at the time, a guy named Andrew Cuomo. And I think I've had the opportunity to work very closely with some of the greatest talents in this country. And from them have learned some very clear things. We're going to have a very sharp, clear agenda for the city. A progressive agenda that's not cutting corners or trying to please everyone, but a clear, positive vision of where we need to go. That's why I'm talking about taxing the wealthiest New Yorkers so we can have early childhood education and after-school programs. That's why I'm talking about not just a partial commitment to paid sick days, but actually trying to reach each and every New Yorker we need to reach, and doing it now, not years from now. These are clear distinctions. That's why I'm willing to say I respect Ray Kelly, but we need a new police commissioner. I think one of the things I took from those experiences, and I give Hillary Clinton a lot of credit, she understands both as a moral question, but also as a question of how you connect with the people, that you got to lay down a sharp vision of where you want to go. So I've put that out there. I have to say, some of the other candidates seem to be dancing around on some of these issues or unwilling to take the bold position. I mean, obviously, Quinn, 3 years she wouldn't move paid sick days, then suddenly she wants to celebrate a compromise and a watered-down bill. Bill Thompson couldn't even decide what stance to take on paid sick days until about a month ago. Those are real differences.
Would you be surprised at the end of the day if Anthony Weiner is the Democratic nominee for mayor?
Dominic, you and I have known each other, I think, 15 years or more. Nothing shocks me.
Public advocate Bill de Blasio. There are a few other Democrats in the race for mayor, like former city councilman Sal Albanese. But when we come back, we will switch gears between Rudy Giuliani and Michael Bloomberg. Democrats have not held the top job in New York City for 20 years. And coming up, two Republicans that want the trend to continue. Former Deputy Mayor Joe Loader and John Catsimatidis. The race for City Hall continues right after this break.